Hi, and Happy New Year. I wanted to come live with you today to share a little story and give an app recommendation. So, last weekend, and this really only pertains if you live in Des Moines. If you live in a suburb, I don't live there. I live in Des Moines proper, so that's what I know the most about as far as public works, services that they provide. So last weekend, my neighbor sent us a text, and they were kind of in a 911 situation because their basement had flooded, and I guess the sewer backed up, and they had no idea why. Like it just sort of happened, and as those things always do, at the most inopportune times. But luckily they had not gone to Florida for the Outback Bowl because otherwise they would not have been home when this happened. So, there's silver linings in every situation. So anyway, they let us know that they had called the city, and the city had come out and said, I don't know what exactly they said, but what I got out of that conversation was that the city said, no, it was our problem. And we had recently had some Mid-American work done in the neighborhood. So we did wonder, was it Mid-American? Did they trench something and that broke a sewer line? Like what happened? And so I had told my husband, honey, I think that it kind of smells in our basement. I notice it when I walk in the unfinished area, and the unfinished area is where the drain is. And if the sewer backs up, that's where that's going to happen. And so he said, nope, it doesn't smell. You're imagining it. Okay, thanks a lot. So a couple of days later, Scott says, you're right. It does kind of smell and it's not a bad smell. It's just like, it's a really minor smell. I go in to hang up laundry or get something out of the freezer. And I'm like, oh, that's not normal. Weird. So anyway, Scott agrees finally that yes, it does smell. Heather's not imagining it. And so I said, well, why don't you take the lead on that and report it? And I don't know if the city, if it was their fault that our neighbor's house had a sewer backup, I don't want it to happen at our house. So who do we call to make sure that doesn't happen? And so he registered online. So you can do this through an app or online. And I've used the app before, and it's called myDSM Mobile. I don't know the website offhand, but I'll look that up afterwards and I'll put a link to it in the comments here. And so myDSM Mobile, if I can get it here in front of the camera where you can kind of see, that's what it looks like when you open it. And I keep getting all these texts. I scheduled a bunch of showings for tomorrow and my phone is blowing up. So then you create a request for service, and then you can select the report type, where the problem is at, tell us details, and whether you want the request to be confidential. And so I have read previously, and I'm sure it's probably still true, that the top two requests that the city gets are for potholes and mosquitoes. And pothole season is coming up. So even if you don't live in Des Moines, you may want to report potholes in Des Moines. So it's still not a bad idea to get the app. So you can report if an alleyway needs repair, if there's graffiti that needs to be cleaned up, an inoperable vehicle, mosquito control, a pothole. You could report work without a permit, request a street sweeper, sanitary sewer problem. You could send a compliment. I think I'll send a compliment after this. Snow, stormwater problem, streetlight outage, traffic lights missing, traffic signal problem, trash or recycle, tree request, or weeds. So, if there's a vacant property in your neighborhood or a ditch that the city takes care of and it gets too long and it's filled with weeds, you could report a request for that. Sometimes the traffic lights by my house, sometimes they go out. I guess they're bulbs, so they don't last forever. And I've reported that on the app, and within a day or so, they're fixed. But what I'm so impressed by with, these text messages will not stop. What I'm so impressed by with the city, we just reported it yesterday, and they followed up with a few emails. So initially, once somebody gets the report that you submitted, they instantly close the ticket. So it's closed, and they give a comment that they'll send it to the right department or whatever. And so I've only reported a few things. I think I complained about mosquitoes, maybe a pothole, the traffic light once or twice. And everything has been corrected within a reasonable period of time. And so now, hold on, okay, so yesterday we got the comment after Scott reported that there was something wrong with the sewer, and it wasn't that there was something wrong. He just submitted it and said, hey, we noticed a smell. We don't know what it's from, and this thing happened to our neighbors, and so we just want to make sure that we're reporting something if we need to, and make sure our basement doesn't flood. Oh my God. And so they said, we'll send someone out to televise the line and see what the issue was. You may also want to check your traps and your floor drains. If they're dry, you'll be getting a sewer smell through them. Today, the smell is gone because a few hours ago, the city was out in the cul-de-sac where we live, and they were doing something in the, the manhole sewer thing out there. And so I got word from my neighbor who had gone out there, and they snaked the drain, or like the line, not the drain, I guess. So they snaked the line. They found that there were tree roots in the main sewer that's owned by the city, not by a household. And the tree roots had it 90% blocked, so they got rid of the roots. And then specific to my neighbor, they were finally able to find the neighbor's sewer line and found that there was a clog at the end of so like every house's line meets up to the city line, and you as a homeowner have to take care of the line from your house out to where the city owns. And it's not necessarily at the curb, like it's just where the city ownership takes place. And I think it's different in every situation. So sometimes if you ever have to replace the sewer, you might have to dig up the street. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, so she said that they found a clog at the end of their line where it was on the homeowner's part, not the city's part. So they'll have to call a plumber to take care of that. But then the city sent another comment today to us to follow up and said the sanitary sewer has been televised and cleaned, and now the request is closed. So my compliment to them is that this is pretty fast service. So you would think, Des Moines is not a small town. They've got a lot of things going on. We just reported it yesterday. Very fast action to have them out here today when there wasn't even a real known problem. Like, we don't know for sure what's really going on. They reviewed it, they addressed it, and they communicated back to us. And so I think that's really cool. It's an easy app, easy online process to do. So if you ever have a complaint or want to report an issue in the city of Des Moines, then this is the app you need to download. And of course, like I said, I will get the link to the website where you can report it online as well. And pothole season is coming up. So, if you constantly run over one of those pesky potholes in the roads, then you might as well report it to the city so they can put it on their list, because, without our help, how will they know everything that they want, everything that we want to be done? So I think that it's a great service, and it's got to be helpful to them when we communicate issues that need attention. And yeah, I'm impressed. So you should use it and be impressed too. That's all I've got for today. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you have a great weekend. If you're still celebrating the holidays, then you've got a couple of days left before Monday rolls around and we're all back to work. But until then, Happy New Year.